I think this story, more than any other, proves why political consultants in Canada are some of the dumbest people on the planet. Because in the aftermath of Jagmeet Singh, the federal NDP leader, ripping up the supply and confidence agreement between his party and Justin Trudeau's federal Liberals, Trudeau, for some reason, is calling the NDP climate deniers. Instead of, maybe talking about some issues that actually matter to Canadians, Trudeau is going to continue doubling down on stupid and making himself look like an out-of-touch elitist. He's effectively challenging Jagmeet Singh to an out-of-touch elitist competition. And so that has resulted in some pretty bizarre social media posts, and Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the federal Conservatives, just gets to sit back, eat his popcorn, and make fun of both of them because both of them are in a slap fight over pretty much nothing. Before I get into it, though, I just want to highlight how sloppy Jagmeet Singh's rollout has been of breaking up with Justin Trudeau and then saying that he is no longer in favor of the carbon tax. It's all been so haphazard and made himself look so unprofessional that his approval ratings have actually slipped farther in the aftermath of this. In the long run, I actually frankly think that Jagmeet Singh is going to improve in his popularity because by being oppositional to Trudeau, he can at least separate himself from Trudeau, because that was the reason before why Jagmeet Singh's approval ratings had fallen so far down. He used to be very high up in the positive ratings because people saw him as inoffensive and unthreatening because he's the NDP leader. He's never going to become prime minister. When he partnered up with Trudeau, a bunch of people started really paying attention to what Jagmeet Singh says and does, and they didn't really like it. But now you would assume that he would get more popular once he finally decouples himself from Trudeau. But again, he did it in such a bad way that now he only has an approval rating of 29% and a disapproval rating of 38%, a 9% net negative approval rating. Absolutely bizarre, but I assume in time it will recover. But Pierre Poilievre, just to go and start off with him when we talk about the specific fight that's going on here, he's going after Jagmeet Singh because obviously a lot of what Jagmeet Singh is saying around the carbon tax is purely artificial. Supposedly, Jagmeet Singh's now against it because it's hurting working people, but that's always been true about the carbon tax ever since it was passed back in 2019. And Pierre Poilievre shares this article with this quote, "Jagmeet Singh targets carbon tax in a flaccid attempt to imitate Pierre." And that's absolutely true. Jagmeet Singh not only needed to separate himself from Justin Trudeau because he was making him deeply unpopular, but he also wants to sort of capture that populist energy that Pierre Poilievre and people like Wab Kinew have. The problem is that Jagmeet Singh has been around since 2018 as the NDP leader. So nobody actually trusts that he's somehow changed. He is simply saying enough to try and gain a little bit in the polls. But, that's not really a big, most people who pay attention are going to know that Jagmeet Singh is still the Rolex socialist. But now let's jump over to the Liberals, because the Liberals are doing this in response to what the NDP are doing. They posted this meme with the headline "lol," and it says, "Pierre Poilievre's climate denial," and the woman in the foreground, and then it shows Jagmeet Singh and Canadians who care about fighting climate change. Oh my goodness. Who are the consultants advising Justin Trudeau? This just makes them look like college progressives. And I guess that maybe because Jagmeet Singh is saying that he doesn't want he would try and vote to get rid of the consumer carbon tax. The Liberals think that college-age progressives are up for grabs, but they're assuming that college-age progressives are thinking people and are going to somehow abandon Jagmeet Singh and the NDP over this. They're not, because they don't pay attention to politics very much. They just vote for the NDP because they are perceived as the most left-wing mainstream party outside of the Greens, but the Greens are completely irrelevant. So if anything, Justin Trudeau is probably just going to hemorrhage more middle-class voters. Jagmeet Singh is going to mostly just hold on to the same progressive voters he already had, and union voters and working-class people are going to continue to move over to the Conservatives who actually respect them. It doesn't matter what Jagmeet Singh says to pretend that he cares about working-class people these days. He just so obviously is a white-collar elitist that no one who works in sort of tough unionized labor are going to care that he's super pro-union. They'd rather vote for the Conservatives, who actually tend to oppose too much union power in industries because at least they actually respect working class people. And from my perspective, that's a good thing. If anything, unions have actually been a massive drag on the economy. It's great that you can get a select few workers more benefits, but what they actually end up being are gatekeepers to more workers entering the workforce. And the thing is that these unions, because they are taken over by progressive activists at their upper levels, people like Fred Hahn in Ontario, that they actually support mass immigration that has been undercutting labor. But whatever, I guess that I'm some anti-union scab or something now, or some stool pigeon, whatever old school trade unionists are going to say, even though I'm entirely right about the fact that they could be getting paid more if we actually just stop mass immigration and stop union bosses from killing industries. But whatever, here is the video that came along with the Liberals' attack on Jagmeet Singh. It is absolutely mind-boggling. It says, climate action can't wait. And here is Justin Trudeau trying to take a jab at Jagmeet Singh.
We put a world-leading price on pollution across this country that does two things. It drops emissions and it puts more money back in the pockets of the middle class and people working hard to join it. 8 out of 10 Canadians in regions across the country that have the federal price on pollution get more money with the Canada carbon rebate. And yet Jagmeet Singh and the NDP are caving to the political pressures from Pierre Poilievre and from the Conservatives.
No one believes him. No one believes him. Even Jagmeet Singh, as like hollow-minded as Jagmeet Singh is, even he is not the big bag of stupid that Justin Trudeau is, and he can identify that most people know that they're not benefiting. Here's the thing. When a benefit has been given to Canadians, the rebate has been given to Canadians for, 6 years now, or coming up on 6 years, and nobody actually feels better off, it's probably because they're not better off. You really can't fake the pocketbook at the end of the day. When people balance their finances at the end of the day and they are worse off this many years later, they don't believe that the rebate is actually overcoming the cost of the carbon tax, because they just do weaselly math and they only take the cost of the carbon tax at the pump on a few select items that you buy on a daily basis, and they pretend like, oh, you're still making $50 more per year than the carbon tax is costing you. Apply it to the whole economy, and people are not better off. Apply it to the actual groceries people buy, not just buying bread and eggs. People are not making any more money on the carbon tax. It would be the first tax on the planet that was actually making people more wealthy by taxing them. It's not how it works. And even Jagmeet Singh understands it, because I guarantee you many members of, not his base maybe, because I would believe certain parts of his base are so progressive that they think the carbon tax is amazing, but a lot of the kind of more working class NDPers who used to vote for people like Jack Layton and Thomas Mulcair, they were probably signaling that they were going to go over to the Conservative Party unless Jagmeet Singh would oppose Trudeau on the most basic of unpopular issues like the carbon tax. If the NDP is going to function, and I hope that they just fall apart because I've never liked the NDP, but from a neutral perspective, or from the perspective of someone who's a conservative who doesn't even want them to win, but will give them the advice, if the NDP is ever going to survive, it has to at least be somewhat of a working class populist party. It has to be able to take both some left wing as well as some center right positions depending on the issues. It's gotten so socially left wing and so fiscally left wing that they just cannot sustain anybody outside of the narrow 16% of the vote that they already have. There's some other ridiculous things Jagmeet Singh is doing right now that's completely contradicting his more populist stance on the carbon tax, when he's saying that, well, we need to ban like large corporations or large renter organizations from buying up properties and building new rental properties on them, because that's them taking away an affordable house from other people. There are people already pointing out how ridiculous this is, that if there's a tiny shack on a large lot, that you can't knock it down and build a bigger house that can fit more people on it, or build 2 houses and split the lot because it was made back in the 80s and has way too much room around it compared to how houses are built today. And that, like, Jagmeet Singh's plan would actually make it so that there's less housing available. The solution to most problems is expand supply. Don't just try and meet, like, just don't try and like meet the problem from the demand side. You have to meet it from the supply side, because you can't make demand work with small supply. You can only make the demand work with a rising supply, not take a fixed supply and make the out of size demand fit in. That's just not how it works. Sorry, I'm getting a bit rambly at the end here, but you guys get my point. I hate demand side economics. Supply side economics are where it's at. But that should be it for me today, guys. You guys, I encourage you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all those things, and donate to the legal fund linked in the description below, as well as pinned at the top of the comments, because we're being sued by a Chinese billionaire for no particular reason, for a defamation case where he hasn't even filed any real evidence in over 2.5 years, accusing us of wrongdoing while not being willing to actually prove it. So it's cost us over $32,000. So if you'd contribute anything to that, really helps us out, keeps us going, and allows us to actually upgrade our equipment. I'm doing all this on a laptop camera, and it'd be great to do something that can actually get all the way up to 1080p or maybe even 4K. But that's another topic for another day. See you guys later.